This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
Well, my name is James Hazel, and I'm the author of The Mayfly, which is a crime thriller, and it is out and has been out for a few months now, and it follows the adventures of a character called Charlie Priest. And the book is of particular relevance today because it is a dual storyline book, and the historic part of it is based on the aftermath of the Holocaust.
And you were just telling me your grandfather had stories as a prisoner of war, actually, at that time that he shared with you that you kind of felt like you needed to write about in some way.
Yeah, after my grandfather died, I started talking about the stories that he'd told me to other family members, and it became apparent that a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them he bequeathed just to me. And I felt very much the custodian of these stories, and that really has sparked my interest in the Second World War and my interest in the Holocaust. And I kind of knew all along that if I was ever going to get into writing, the key to writing is write what you know. And I know about two things in life. One is being a lawyer, because that was my professionalism before I became a writer. And the second thing I know about is the Second World War. So you marry the two together, and the Mayfly was born, and the rest is publishing history.
And you do actually go into schools and work with them and, inspire this kind of creative thought this is all about.
Yeah, this is sort of the perfect event for me, because it's it's talking about creativity. There's been a lot of talk tonight about how kids have been inspired to write from this subject, and it's also the subject itself, which is that word Holocaust that we use very rarely, I find. I think people should be talking about it a lot more. So an attempt to draw those two things together, to get kids into writing and to talk about a subject that's very close to me as well, is just perfect. So it's absolutely wonderful over here.
Rutland Radio.
Yes, I'm Phil Lyons. I'm the CEO at the National Holocaust Centre.
Now, this festival in Stamford, it started off being very much a memorial to the Holocaust. Quite rightly, we should remember that. But it's ended up as being so much more than that, almost lessons learned from history and what the future may bring in the learning of the children here.
Yes, let's, in a sense, start at the beginning. Holocaust Memorial Day happens every year on January the 27th, which was the day in 1945 that Auschwitz was liberated, and that was chosen internationally as the single date. But we work every day with survivors, with educators, to help young people and scholars, university students and the general public to learn from that piece of history and to understand, particularly with primary school children, and that's unusual, it's the only place in Europe that has a primary school exhibition, to learn what went missing in that period in terms of values. Germany in the 30s, a very civilized country, very artistic, cultured country. How did that turn into what became the darkest period of the history of mankind? And to understand that, we help young people talk about values, talk about the way in which we behave with each other, so that intuitively they understand things like humiliation, isolation, and then propaganda and persecution, and how that might turn eventually to violence. With primary school children, of course, we don't deal with the Holocaust and the final solution, the camps. It's more about the refugees, the children that came to the UK on special transport that was set up for them. But the truth is there that if we don't look out today, if we don't help children learn how to ask questions, use critical thinking, then from very small beginnings we can have large changes in our communities, and they will not be the changes for the better. And that's what we're doing, and this is an inspiring place. This school has got inspiring ambition, and through the chairman, who is a friend, and we've kept in touch, he thought there was a match here in terms of the school's values and what it was trying to do, particularly with the community, and what we were doing nationally. And together with our education staff, with some of the staff at the school, they've come together to expand the theme and to look at this festival of thought, because at the bottom of everything, genocides are based around the inability of people to deal with difference. And thinking is what starts this notion of this person is different to me, I'm frightened, I don't like, or I don't want to be with this person. So thought is an instrumental, instrumental starting point in what we all have to do in terms of our work.
It seems a very brave step for a school of this size in the community that's here to actually step out and first of all talk about the Holocaust to the community, as this will be, and also to involve other schools as well and give that kind of basis to their festival.
I think that's right. And when we talk about the Holocaust, we do it in an age-appropriate way. So with younger children, it's not the final solution. It is, as I said, about refugees. But this is a brave decision because it's getting comfortable with this notion of challenge, that we should be able to talk about things that are going to affect our lives, younger people particularly. How do they build that framework around themselves that is based on values, that is going to protect them and their thinking? And I think it's brave to even start this process off. But I think it's what all good education programs should do. And all good education, all good Holocaust education should bring hope for the future. And from this darkest of subjects, we have to do that. We have to bring hope.
Rutland Radio.
My name is Sarah Oliver and I'm the Senior Leader of Community here at Stamford Welland Academy.
How on earth did this come about first off and then be drawn into the Festival of Thought that it then became?
Well, it was actually Roger at first, just before Christmas, spoke to me about a very long-standing ambition to work with the Holocaust Centre and somehow get our school working with them. And he invited me on a lovely day trip out, which was wonderful. I met Phil and Louise, which was really inspirational, and we had a wonderful day. And we were just, really sort of sitting and discussing how can we all work together. And, what we accumulated our ideas, and we thought, well, actually, they wanted a school to kind of trial their outreach work. They haven't done that yet. That's what they, as Phil sort of discussed tonight, their technology is really advanced and developing, and so it seemed really exciting and logical that they would come here and they would run some workshops. But then we thought, actually, let's take this bigger. Let's just incorporate lots of different opportunities for students within the wider community, Stamford College, the primary schools, Willoughby School, and let's bring everyone together. And then it was actually the snow days, a few weeks ago, where I just spent some real time sitting thinking. And I thought of every name under the sun for a festival. And they'd all been done before. They didn't quite capture it. You think festival of understand. We're trying to get people to understand, but understanding, it's not. That sounds almost like you're remembering, or you're, it just doesn't. It doesn't spark that creativity that we want. And Festival of Thought, suddenly it just appeared, and I thought that's what we're fundamentally trying to get people to engage with, is that higher level of thought, higher level of questioning. Googled it hadn't been done before, very excited that domain name was available, and sort of built it around that really, and thought, if we're thinking of thought, well, let's get the National Space Centre involved, let's get people thinking about astronomy, let's think about the centenary events, let's get the Royal British Legion involved, let's think about let's get writers involved, let's get do things for parents, let's do things for staff, let's do things for the community. So I've contacted a comedian that's all his material is all about thought and critique, it's sort of social commentary, and that's really what we're trying to get students to do, is broaden their worldview. So you start to kind of tie it all together. You have a very exciting programme that offers something for everybody. So it's as much about history as about current values and about future, really, the future generation, which I guess is what education's about. I think it's very much it's very timely, I think. I think a lot of students today, it's like Cher Allen, the deputy head, was saying before, and do people have the do teachers have the courage to answer these questions? And students are unnerved by current politics, by what's sort of happened over the recent years, both with Brexit, both in America, and they constantly want to ask these questions, and they want to ask these questions about power, the nature of power, the nature of indoctrination, the idea of social conditioning, and they're asking these questions. I don't believe there's ever been a more timely moment right now for us to capture that. And actually there's a real sort of culture of fear, of xenophobia, really sort of through the kind of mass media, and there's some, through politics. There's the students pick up on this, and I think that there's a more and more sort of fear of difference, and we're starting to kind of see there's some ripple effects of that even in our society within Britain, and I think that's dangerous, and I think we as a school and as a Stamford community can address that.
So you're really leading the country in terms of the work that you're doing in this.
I mean, we've actually had sort of national support from the government, from some top writers, from national writing magazines, and I think everyone's quite on board, because what we are tackling is we're willing to tackle these issues. We really want to lead the way in terms of innovative education, providing innovative educational experiences for our students. And also sort of develop a really sort of powerful RE curriculum as well, and really sort of develop, put critical thinking at the forefront and current affairs, because that underpins every subject. And with critical thinking, students will be able to debate, they'll be able to articulate their thoughts, they'll be able to evaluate, analyse all these higher level conceptualised skills that translates across all their GCSEs, A-levels. So I think it's that it's fundamentally so important to create powerful individuals for the future.
And how will the festival itself work in terms of the programme? Will that be as much about, say, performances as well as talks, as in workshops and more typical lessons?
I think what we need is a real variety. So I've organised it into sort of zones. So what we would have at Stamford Welland Academy is 3 collapsed timetable days where students they all experience the Holocaust Museum, and they all get to choose a variety of different programmes, things that they're particularly interested in as well. And also there's going to be opportunities then for primary schools to come in during those 3 school days and also bring their students to come and experience the museum, experience the talks and workshops, and also work with our students. And then again, there are quite a lot of opportunities for the Stamford College students to come in, work with our students and such. So very much, Louise Stafford talked about it in her presentation, about getting students to lead the exhibition, lead it themselves as well as it coming from them. So students as teachers. So there'll be those opportunities. There'll be events for the public, so the Holocaust survivor talk they can come along to. There will be writers, there'll be editors leading workshops, poets, there'll be a variety of performances, an exhibition for them to come and see, so there's plenty for them to come and enjoy. And then what we really want is students to invite their parents and invite their parents to the museum and take them through it as well. And then on Saturday we really want one big sort of community celebration, some centenary events out on the field, some sporting events, raising money for charity, and just really kind of conclude the celebration of the festival, but also giving back and thinking about others, hence with supporting some very important charities. Students here are very keen to support charities that raise awareness for mental health issues, so that's what that's going to be our focus.
So what dates will people be looking out for?
Looking out for June the 27th to June the 30th. A full programme will be uploaded. We'll start a website, festivalofthought.co.uk. We will also have flyers. We are working with Stamford Arts Council and Stamford Tourist Board that fully support us, and so look out there.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
Anya Vichikovsky, Osprey Project Officer.
And here we are looking out over the Linden Reserve here today. Today's been the day that you've ringed the two chicks. Now, there were originally 3, weren't there? But one didn't make it.
Yes, unfortunately we lost one under circumstances that we couldn't really have helped in any way. One of the chicks got caught outside the nest cup and couldn't get back in. It probably just got cold and died overnight, unfortunately.
These 2 that are here, how long are they going to be around for now?
They'll probably be around for at least a few more months. They haven't started flying yet, so it'll be a couple of weeks before they start flying around the bay. And then once they've flown around the bay, they'll disappear off to Africa.
Now, it was back in March, wasn't it? Just about a week earlier than you'd expect that the first female came back, actually, for the first time.
Yeah, so that was actually the earliest we've ever had an osprey back, not just in Rutland, but also the earliest known pair to return in the whole of the UK, so that was really exciting.
And you've got 26 adults on the reserve now?
Yeah, so we've got 26 ospreys throughout Rutland, and they're kind of roaming around the area, and we have 8 breeding pairs at the moment, so...
And as far as the hides around Rutland Water, do they all kind of bag their own kind of hide and then the others have to find somewhere else to go?
Yeah, so they have pretty big territories actually. At the moment we only have the 1 breeding pair on the reserve, but the other males are kind of looking at the other nests that we have around, so hopefully one of them will take up residence on one of them soon.
Now, people can come down to the reserve at Linden and see this, but they can also go on the cruises, but they get booked up so quickly.
Yes, so we run Osprey cruises on Wednesday and Saturday nights. You can see it all on our website. We do ask that people book on before they come. But it's a really great chance to see some of our other ospreys, not just the breeding pair that we have. And also, if you're lucky, you might even see them fishing.
Now, as far as the ringing of the 2 youngsters, excuse me, does that mean... sorry. Does that mean that they're... that's their ring, their ID for life now?
Yep, so we hope that the metal ring and the blue ring both stay on for their entire lives. They normally do. Sometimes they can get a bit snapped or they can break off. But especially the blue Darvik ring, this has a individual combination for each osprey, and that can be seen through a telescope. So it means that when these birds are on migration or in their wintering grounds, we'll be able to identify them, and we know where they came from and who their parents were and all about their history and biology.
Now, I know there's some stuff happening as far as the ospreys are concerned today, and the One Show are filming. Can you tell us anything about that at this stage, apart from it's going to be shown in a few weeks?
No, sorry, I can't.
That's fine. Don't worry. I look forward to seeing it. In fact, Anya, thanks very much for joining us here on Rutland Radio. Could you let us know, finally, how often the visitor centre is open?
Yeah, so the visitor centre is open every day from 9 till 5.
Rutland Radio.
Sean Harley, and I'm currently the Vice Chairman of Football versus Cancer, but will be the Acting Chairman as of the next year.
So this event's happened down in Peterborough area already, but it's the first time actually that Borderville, Stanford Daniels' home, hosts it. Tell us about the day, and everyone's invited to come along and actually watch the game.
Yeah, so everybody's invited to come along, Rob. The day starts off at 12 o'clock at the Zico Arena at Stamford AFC, and that's what time the gates will open. The celebrities will start to arrive then, where everyone can have photo opportunities, signatures, different things like that, say hello. They'll get to meet some of the children as well that we're doing this event for. Then obviously there'll be a fantastic game. There'll also be some opportunities to win some cracking prizes, so we'll have a raffle, half-time draw.
And what kind of names have you got signed up?
I think everybody knows Razor Ruddock. We've got Des Walker, who has a multitude of England caps from his days at Nottingham Forest. Also one of the only Englishmen to play abroad in Italy at Sampdoria. We've got funny man comedian Omar Jalili, Tamar Hassan, Paul Danan. We have local footballing lads David Norris, who's gone on to captain Leeds United, played at Portsmouth. We also have Paul Konchesky, ex-Liverpool, England left-back. A huge array of names and many, many more.
And there's the football game in the afternoon, there's the evening black tie dinner as well, which people could probably just squeeze on if they actually get in touch with you today.
We're pretty much sold out in terms of tables in the evening event at the Holiday Inn. However, we do have a few spaces left if people really wanted to come along, which I would like to say it's a fantastic opportunity to mingle. It's a great way of understanding why we're doing this event, raising a huge amount of money for these children and to hopefully help them have a better life.
You select a different charity each year?
Yeah, we've started off for the Brain Tumour Research Facility. The following year we went to Clexargent, These are fantastic charities, we didn't want to come away from that, but they already receive a huge amount of funding. We wanted to get something that was much, much closer to home. We've seen Anna's Hope through the football that we run at ICA Sports, spoke with Carol Hughes. It really, really hit home once we heard her story. Hopefully this is something that we can progress further with in years to come.
And Carol, from your point of view, you know, it is such a busy year with Anna's Hope doing so many different things, but what a great event for you to be involved with.
Well, absolutely. I'm just smiling here because I'm thinking Fairy's doing football. I don't think I could kick one to save myself, but no, we're really, really excited, and as Sean says, it's really, really special that they've chosen us. It may surprise to know that brain tumour is now the biggest cancer killer of children and young people in this country now. And our work with Anna's Hope is pioneering. We fund all the neurorehabilitation for any child now that's been lucky enough to survive from a brain tumour across the whole of the east of England now. We're very different to any other charity because every single penny goes to the cause. And you know that of all, don't you, Rob? So you lost your dad to a brain tumour as well. As I say, every penny goes to help the children here and now. We're set up for research too, but as a family have been through it, it's devastating. And as I say, we fund all the neurorehabilitation, but not only do that, we do respite breaks as well and equipment that the NHS don't want to provide. It doesn't just affect the child, it affects the whole family as well. And, what we're doing is really, really special. And I can't thank, Football versus Cancer and the guys for doing what we're doing. And I can't wait for such an exciting night. And I'm learning about football. I'm watching the Football World Cup to try and learn.
What a perfect time to do it.
I now know there's 11 in a team.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, exactly. And Sean, actually, on the day, the gates open at 12. The football begins at 1. It's on Saturday, the 30th of June at the Seacoast. So is there a admission charge on the gate for people?
Yeah, so on the day, it's £5 per person, which some people might think, that's a bit expensive. But all children under the age of 16 can get in for free, and anybody over the age of 65 can also get in for free. So bring your bus pass. So £5. And again, as Carol said, and I'd like to reiterate, all the money that we raise from this, everything that we raise goes directly to Anna's Hope, which goes into the charity. Not a single penny gets taken out from any of the organisers. Everything that we earn on the gates on the day, from raffle sales, from auction prizes that we do at the evening event, all money raised at the evening event, everything, every penny goes directly to Anna's Hope. So, that's really special. Thank you for it. No, you're welcome. So hopefully see everybody down there, come and support a great cause, and let's set some records ourselves. Last year at Yaxley, we got just under 1,000 people there, so we were close to, I think it was just over 800 once we tallied up the gate receipts. This year, we've moved the event for reasons because we want to grow, and we'd like this year to get everybody's support and try and get over that 1,000 mark. So Saturday, 30th of June, 12 p.m, see you there.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
So I'm Corporal Matthew Jeffrey. I'm the Midlands Coordinator for the RF 100 Baton Relay.
And you've had a busy old time. You're off to Lincolnshire Showground tomorrow for the first day of the Lincolnshire Show. But
that's right.
Today, obviously, right around our area, it's been Cottesmore to start with.
We started off at former RAF Kendrew. Sorry, not Kendrew. Former RAF Langer. Then we went down to Kendrew Barracks, which was obviously former Cottesmore. Spent some time there with the school children. The station commander there now. He's raised the RAF ensign on an army base, which is a big moment for us.
Isn't it just?
Yeah, it's quite rare. So we're very, very gracious that he's done that for us. And now we finished back here at Wittering.
And this is obviously the home of the RAF now, but it must be a real kind of step back in time for so many people, actually, when you are going, for instance, to Cottesmore, that for so long had its roots in the Royal Air Force.
Absolutely. I mean, Wittering alone, we're coming through the old Collie West End entrance, so it obviously used to be a base in its own right. They've merged the two together to form Wittering. The whole day has been about a bit of nostalgia and history for us. So obviously, Kendrew, as was Cottesmore, is an old Harrier base. This is a Harrier base, and it's about commemorating those airfield and the men that served in those, as well as bringing it forward to the more present day. We've got 2 MT based here now. That's sort of our main effort from this area.
And the actual baton relay started on the 1st of April in London. It's been all over the country. It's been transported in all kinds of different ways. You're nearly actually at the end of the relay now.
About 3/4 of the way through, yes, as you say, 1st of April, 100 days later, 10th of July in London, where we'll finish. We've gone full circle. It's gone round the country clockwise, been flown to Northern Ireland and back, around the whole of Scotland. Various RAF sports involved. We've had football, fencing, karting, kite surfing, paragliding, all sorts of stuff, wakeboarding and kite surfing, right around the country. And so we'll finish back in London on the 10th of July.
And I suppose the running relay side of it is kind of par for the course if you're in the RAF. You know, you're kind of used to that sort of level of training, but to do it in a ceremonial way for such a special occasion must be something very different.
Yeah, obviously fitness is part and parcel of our daily routine, but to do it this way, it's been quite fun. It's been long days for us, but the guys that have done it sort of day to day, they've been very enjoyable experiences for them. Holding the baton gives you a bit of adrenaline rush, passing it around the team, you sort of share the burden around, and it's been sort of running made easy in a way, and it's just been a nice way to celebrate for us. Especially on a day like today. It's been beautiful, on and off weather a bit, but it's held out dry for us when we got here.
Rutland Radio.
Hi, I'm Group Captain Tony Keeling. I'm Station Commander at Royal Air Force Wittering.
And not only is the baton relay in your time here at the base, but also you get to run with it as well.
I know it's a fantastic opportunity. It's one of those things where somebody had a kind of notion of an idea and it's turned into something remarkable, and it's all about celebrating, commemorating and inspiring. So we're thinking about those that have served before us, we're celebrating what we've achieved today, and the baton's a really good vehicle for inspiring everybody to think about the Royal Air Force, and it's great. We're bringing the whole service family together. It's a wonderful opportunity.
It's quite heavy as well. Have you felt it yet?
It's a beautiful piece of engineering, but I would say that as an engineer, wouldn't I? No, it's quite a remarkable design, and those that are behind the designs and those that made it must be very proud. It's going to be something that will presumably sit in one of our service museums forever now. It's wonderful.
And about its time here, I mean, you've got some kind of tongue-in-cheek moments in there. You've got some kind of serious moments bringing the different parts of Wittering together.
It's a great opportunity for the whole station family, the whole force here at Wittering, to celebrate the baton passing through the station. We've got a really complicated mix of force elements here that do amazing things on operations at home and abroad, so it's a good opportunity for them to get involved, but also our sporting teams, our youth, and I think we've probably got one or two families around as well. It's great.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Emma Hansen, and just the lead at RAF Wittering's participation in the RAF 100 baton relay.
It couldn't not come to RAF Wittering, could it?
It couldn't, no. Obviously the home of the Harrier, but Wittering is more than that now. It's also part of the A4 force. So you have 71 Squadron, 5001, 2 MT, 3 MCS, and apologies if I've missed any sections out, but they're all part of the RAF now, so it's not all about aircraft, so it's excellent that we actually come here to do this today.
And actually coming in through the Collie Western gate is really significant, because that's kind of where it all started, the old Collie Western airfield.
It did. You had RAF Wittering, in fact it was RAF Stamford, then RAF Wittering, then RAF Collie Western, amalgamated the airfield, so to actually come into this gate is quite pertinent, yes.
And everywhere the baton's been, it's had a different kind of journey as well as the actual running. You've come down from Collie Western itself, so can you tell us anything about where the baton's going to go over the next hour?
For the next hour, we're going to actually be within the camp. And we're actually trying to inspire the sporting aspect within the camp. So all different sports teams from across the station, from all different sections, are going to join the station commander as we run across the camp. So there'll be the volleyball, there'll be the archery. We've even got the angler at the end to come round as well. So it's across the station, yes.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
Castleby, the Midsummer Festival is nearly with us. Of course, the longest day tomorrow, the Midsummer Festival, always nearest to the longest day, and Patrick Candler's with us yet again. You've just shown me the poster here. How many bands?
Well, I'm counting 27 on the poster, but I know we've got another couple that have where we've booked since then, and one of the key ones is the DMU choir from Leicester, and we are so delighted because they were obviously on Britain's Got Talent, and we were really hoping that they would get through to the final. It wasn't to be, but then nevertheless they are a phenomenal performing singers, and yeah, we've got them on the Sunday afternoon.
Fabulous stuff. So it's Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Saturday it goes through till 11, and then it's more of a fate feel on the Sunday, but you've got music throughout, and it's non-stop right the way through as well.
Well, our theme this year, and we always have a theme, is Country Capers, and you can read into that what you like.
Yes.
But from my interest particularly is the music side, and I think we've got the biggest and best lineup. 2 stages, one more acoustic, one more for Rocky, but they're all undercover. So if It's not going to rain.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not. And if it's if it's nice and sunny, you've got shade. And we've just got a fantastic range of bands that actually suit all tastes. The headline act on the Saturday is the band from County Hell. But I know we've also got Centre Excuse, who I know Rutland Radio have been supporting. And on the Sunday, we've got Brotherhood's Roundabout, Vicky Clayton, and our old favourites, the Tin Pigeons, are dropping in. So, and there's many more.
It's an amazing time, and also it's free for people to watch all this.
Well, this is people can't believe this.
No,
because,
I can't believe this.
It is free. There is, well, the beer is not free.
No.
The food is not free. But there is no car parking charges, and there is no entrance charge. So we do not want to not stop people coming because they can't afford to get in. And we think that's just wonderful. It's very, very inclusive for all people. And of course, it's not just the music as well. We've got a beer festival with 24 real ales. I mean, that's most beer festivals, 8 or 10. We've got 24 different ones. 5 ciders, lots of lager, some fantastic food, both vegetarian, vegan. We've got our street market, which I think is going to be bigger and better than previous years. And we've gone into a 2-day event. So on Saturday morning, we're doing the Castle Bytham Chase,
5K fun run,
which is a fun run with a difference. It's not going to be on the road. It's going to be across fields, and woe betide you if you get caught by the farmer, because he will be chasing you.
Oh, really?
And it's open. It's open to very much a family event. So mums, dads, and children can all take part. And it's a beautiful, beautiful run.
Castle Bytham Midsummer Festival. It's this weekend. Loads of free live music, loads of great activities, loads of stalls on the Sunday, and don't forget that 5K chase on Saturday morning. And Patrick Handler, thanks very much for coming in and talking to us again. We look forward to being part of it.
Rob, thanks very much indeed.
Rutland Radio.
I'm Oliver Winchester. I'm doing it with my friend Omar Al-Kashati, and we've got Ben Hughes who's driving us. It basically all started a couple of months ago when I lost my mum, Elizabeth Winchester, through cancer, and my friend Omar lost his mum, Jane, 2 years ago, both through cancer. So we came up with the idea to raise some money for kids with cancer. We thought both mums would have loved that, and just a good way to send mum off, really. Our mum's off.
So Mums on a Mountain is what you're calling it.
We've got a Just Giving page as well. We start with Ben Nevis. We start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We aim to be at Scarfell for about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then to finish off in Snowdon. And we should have it all sewn up for about 5 o'clock, hopefully.
So in 24 hours, and you're actually...
hours.
So the middle mountain, you're climbing, what, in the middle of the night before the sun comes up?
Yeah, well, the idea of doing it on this specific day is because it's the summer solstice. It should be the lightest day of the year.
Yeah.
We just checked the weather for Ben Nevis, and it's snowing.
Oh. Yeah, you never can rely on it, can you, that far up?
No, we've got our head torches, and we've got maps, and we've done a lot of training for it as well. Done lots of walk around the peninsula. We're both quite fit people as well, so we're hoping not to seize up too much, and we're hoping to smash it, really.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
So out of the most amazing things to do in Rutland is to go on the Rutland Bell and be on an Osprey cruise. This is a very special one tonight. I'm here with Tim McCrill, who... Were you part of the Osprey project when it actually started?
Just about. Well, I actually first volunteered in 1997 when I was 15. And so I was there from the very early days, and then went on to manage the project. And, it's great that the Ospreys have become such an important part of the local area. And, yeah, as you say, one of the best ways of seeing them is on the Rutland Bell.
And I've obviously seen them here tonight, but the Leadership Foundation is more about connecting the migration route and the next generation, really.
That's right, yeah, because of course the Ospreys that spend the summer in Rutland are only here for a few months, really. They spend a long period of the winter down in West Africa in countries like Senegal and Gambia, and obviously through the satellite tracking work that we've done with the Osprey project, we know exactly where some individuals go. And the whole idea with the Leadership Foundation is to kind of build on that migration by then working with young people both in the UK but also in the areas where the Ospreys spend the winter. So we're setting up several different projects in the Gambia that will not only hopefully help to engage young people in nature and conservation, but also help those who really take an interest to take that interest further, maybe to go to university and maybe even to start a career in conservation. So it's about using the osprey kind of as a flagship species to generate interest in conservation and the need to protect wildlife, and then hopefully to support the young people who really do genuinely develop an interest.
And Rutland has really strong links with those in Gambia that are interested in the project.
That's right, yeah. I mean, we, through the Osprey project here, we linked schools in Rutland with schools in Gambia, and a few years ago the Melton Mowbray Rotary Club made a donation of £2,500, which funded a computer suite in one of the schools in Gambia. And to put it in context, it's a school with 1,500 pupils, and they had one computer between the whole school prior to the donations. So that was fantastic, and we then subsequently paid for an internet connection as well, so that meant that the kids could Skype and link up with young people here, and that's another aim of the new foundation. Really, it's to show that when you're talking about the conservation of a species like the osprey, of course it's important to protect them in Rutland, but it's also equally important to protect where they're going for the winter and to raise awareness of conservation and conservation issues. So I think with a bird like the osprey that really captures people's imagination and generates lots of interest, it's something that can really you can use to kind of hook people in and get them interested. And so that's what the foundation's all about. And I think for young people particularly, they've got a chance to develop into people who can really become influential. And the volunteering I did at Rutland Water when I was 15 years old has been incredibly important for me in my career, and I hope that we'll be able to provide opportunities for young people like that in the UK and also in West Africa.
Well, I was going to say, is it really through your experience you thought, actually, we can reach out and do this wider, and we can take this to places that don't get the chances maybe that you have?
That's right, yeah. We're really lucky in this country in that, I grew up in Stamford, so, I was down the road when the Translocation project started, so it was great for me. I was, at an age where I wanted to try and get that experience, and I loved it, and it really shaped my future career. And, we're fortunate that we've got those opportunities, but in Gambia and places like that, there just aren't those kind of opportunities. So hopefully this is creating something that will help young people like I was in the Gambia to really take their interest further and to potentially even, get a career in conservation.
And can people support this locally, and how can they get in touch with you? Because it's a charitable project, charitable trust, isn't it?
Yeah, we're now a UK registered charity, which is great. We've got a website, ospreylf.org, and you can go on there and see all the different projects that we're planning to run. And donations are always gratefully received. Hopefully we'll be organising some more fundraising events in Rutland over the coming months, so we'll see what ideas we can come up with, but just check out the website and there's lots more information there.
Rutland Radio.
So I'm at Stamford Meadows with Lucy Rose Graham. It's a little windy today. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot windier when you get to the top of Ben Nevis, because that's your challenge, isn't it? You're going to be climbing Ben Nevis, but you're taking something along with you.
Yes, I am. I'm taking my cello to the top with me to play at the top.
It's going to be like an amazing music video, when you've just got classical composers and musicians playing on top of mountains. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, it should be good. I've got my dad climbing with me, so hopefully he'll be able to take some photos and videos.
So first of all, we'll just rewind a bit and tell us more about you as a celloist.
So I studied at Oakham School on cello, and I'm now at the Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester doing cello performance.
You were Rutland's Young Musician of the Year as well, once upon a time, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I can't remember which year, quite a few years ago, I think, yeah.
And you've decided to take on this challenge with your cello. Is it going to be on your back?
Yeah, so it's going to be on my back like a rucksack. I'm not sure how it's going to go, because even when I walk on a flat surface, it hits the back of my legs. So I'm not sure about climbing. I think there's going to be a few stumbles and falling over a little bit, but hopefully it'll be okay.
Have you done any training for it?
So I've been trying to get I've been doing cardio work to try and get my stamina and endurance up, and I'm going to add weights to my back when it gets closer to the time.
Now you're taking on this challenge for a charity that's very close to your heart, aren't you?
Yes, I'm doing it to raise money for Rape Crisis, to raise money and awareness basically of all the work that they do.
This charity is very close to your heart because unfortunately you were actually a victim of rape once, weren't you?
Yeah, so it was a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, 15th of June, in Manchester when I got raped.
Oh my gosh. How did it leave you feeling?
So it it completely turned my life around. It kind of destroyed it for a bit. I found it really hard to cope with. I didn't really talk to anyone about it apart from those people at Rape Crisis and the police. So yeah.
And that's why you want to give something back to Rape Crisis, because of all the support they gave you.
Yeah, I want to give back to Rape Crisis, so it's partly that and partly to raise awareness. There's a lot of victims who suffer in silence, and they don't realise that there's someone out there who understands, they're non-judgmental, and they just helped me so much to keep going at the time.
It's very brave of you to take something so negative and actually come out with a positive doing this challenge.
I think it's the only way to do it, really. Because either it could completely just destroy the rest of your life and eat you up, or you can just turn it around and just make it a positive experience, try and help other people with it.
You've raised loads of money as well so far. You're up to just over 1,500.
Yeah, I am, and it's only been just over a week, so I've been totally overwhelmed with the support and the feedback. It's been amazing.
So where can people go to donate to you?
So I've set up a Just Giving page, which is on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all Lucy Rose Graham _cello. So just go to there and donate if possible.
And when's the challenge happening?
24th of August. So I've got about 2.5 months.
That's not long, is it?
No, it's not too long.
Have you ever climbed a mountain before?
No, I got a train up Snowdon once, but that's about the nearest I've ever got.
You'll feel so great after it though, won't you? When you get to the top, playing your cello.
Yeah, I hope so, And a lot of people have said that I could just go down the mountain on my cello, which seems like quite a nice idea, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do that.
Slide your way back down.
Yeah.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Absolutely buzzing, I can't believe it. It was so tough. Unbelievable, we've done it. Here's the gate. Cannot believe where we've got to. A few months ago we had like a grand on the Just Giving page. I don't think we thought we were going to get the full amount, and now we've exceeded it. We've had more people than we ever thought would get involved with it all. And thank you so much.
Thank you, people.
See you later.
Much appreciated.
Rutland Radio.
I'm Eloise Snape and I go to Brookes Primary School.
And you live in Livingston?
Yes.
And you make that journey to school every day?
Yes.
What happened on this particular day?
We were driving on the way to school, and when we went through Uppingham we saw this dog run through the road and there was a boy chasing it. I realised what was going on, so then I asked Daddy if we could go and help. The dog went down the high street, so we went down behind it, and then it went into the butcher's. So at that point we were able to overtake it and park. We got out of the car, and so Daddy went onto the road and I was on the pavement, and we started to close into it. But the dog just ran to me straight away. The boy then eventually caught up.
He'd been chasing his dog for quite a long time.
Yeah, because he lived on the other side of Uppingham.
Just basically because you're obviously a dog-friendly person, that you were able to stop this chase, which could have gone on for hours, I suppose.
Yeah, the boy was called Logan and he was getting very late for school and he's getting really worried about it. But Max didn't have a collar on either. So we drove Max home and then we drove Logan to school and then we went to school.
Were you late for school?
Yes, but we were on a school trip and we were meant to be there early, so Daddy had to drive me straight to the bus. And then the bus wasn't there, so we went to school, but the bus had already gone, so we had to drive back to the bus station.
But you got there and everything worked out in the end. So this boy was chasing his dog. He got to school. The dog got safely back home.
Yeah.
You got to school. You got on your school trip. Was it anywhere nice, by the way?
It was to a warning zone.
Oh, fabulous. Over in Leicester. So you know about stranger danger and you know about looking after other people's dogs as well now.
Yeah.
Was Max quite well behaved in your car?
He was actually. He didn't get car sick.
And you have a dog yourself?
Yes, she does get car sick. She's called Sadie.
Eloise, well done for doing what you did, and thanks for talking to us here at Rutland Radio. You are our hero of the week.
Thank you.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
So I'm with Alison and Emma from Nossington Preschool. It's Bring Your Dog to Work Day today, so I'm wondering if you've got any dogs with you.
I'm afraid we're not. I didn't know anything about it, but our co-worker Kira, she's got 2 border terriers and she would have been more than welcome. We do have a vet coming to visit us and she's bringing border terrier puppies in, so we're all very excited about that. We've been doing all about us this week, so the children have brought bags in and one of the children brought a bone in for her grandma's dog. but we're very animal friendly because we're rural, so we've had lambs in and all sorts, so we might have to do that next year.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Thank you, Rob. A gorgeous day for a run today. The weather's beautiful, and I'm here at Castle Bytham for the 5k chase. Got Rachel, the race organiser, and also Father Bytham, who's actually going to be chasing after everyone.
That's right, I've got my pitchfork ready. I'm going to be chasing them all off of my land. Go on, get off my land, you pesky lot!
They better be quick then, Rachel.
Absolutely, because, we've set this run up and, we had to take some liberties across the land, but we need to make sure that everyone keeps in control. It's not just the sheep we need to worry about.
And it's for everyone, isn't it? It's for adults, children, even pets.
Absolutely. I mean, the Midsummer Festival has been going on for years and years, and usually it was just a Sunday, but its popularity has increased that we now move on to the Saturday and the Sunday, and what we were looking forward to is introducing a new event with a different dimension to introduce them both to sort of running into Castle Bytham and into the Midsummer Festival. Have a run and have a refreshment.
Of course, the Midsummer Festival, it's on both days this weekend. So what would you say the highlights will be?
There's some fantastic lineup of bands. So there's music from midday on Saturday right the way to Saturday evening and starts again on Sunday. Complete eclectic mixture, something for absolutely everyone. There is a fine selection of beers. On Sunday we have a street closure and full of lovely artisan and craft stalls. There's a dog show and there's a duck race. So I think we've got everything covered.
Definitely plenty on. Farmer Bytham, will you be sticking around?
Absolutely. Once I've got all this pesky lot off my field, I'll be coming down here enjoying one of my fine ales, I think.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.